Hello, spin enthusiasts. So I'm so glad you're here because that means you are not weirded out too much by my first video about how to be a color guard instructor, and I'm gonna go ahead and tackle some of your questions in a Q&A again. Let's get it rolling. Next question, how does one become a color guard instructor? You just do it. Honestly, there's a lot of different resources out there. You can become certified, you can go to classes, you can go to summer camps. So at Spintronics, we have the summer camp, which is coming up in July. It's at Central Methodist University, and anyone who attends the color guard camp as a color guard coach or instructor, they are granted a 1-year Spintronics guard instructor certification. So you'll be certified for a year, and basically you learn everything you need to know, and with that certification you can go and it just gives you a little more qualifications over other candidates that might be competing with you for a job. The Music for All Summer Symposium also does the Color Guard Instructor Academy. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I went myself. I have sent some of my students. Sometimes we give scholarships when we have the funding to be able to do so, to go to this Music for All Summer Symposium and do the Color Guard Instructor Academy. I believe it takes 2 years of attending to get your certification from them, but they give you experience in instructing, small group instruction, large group instruction, show design, choreography design, layering, all sorts of things. When I was just a young child, I don't know, I wasn't that young, but I was the youngest one there, one of the youngest, and I went to the Color Guard Instructor Academy myself, and I learned so much. The instructors there are just phenomenal. They've been around for a really long time, and they really know what they're doing. So I strongly recommend going and doing the Color Guard Instructor Academy at Music for All Summer Symposium. And then looking at the high schools in your area, just what do they need? What do the high schools in your area need? Who needs a guard instructor? Who needs to help improve their program? And then approaching them not with the intent of, oh hey, I am awesome at color guard and your program sucks. I need you to show up and let me just come and fix it. You don't want to approach it like that. You want to approach it in a way of, hey, I have this skill set, and if you're interested, I can help you out, and here's my credentials, and having a formal resume is always awesome. I know a lot of schools aren't going to require that, especially in small towns. And a lot of times I get phone calls from people wanting to know do you know of anybody looking for a color guard instructor job in my area? So we have the Spinternship program where we actually take in young instructors who are out of high school, and we sort of take them under our wing. They help us run the summer camp, and with the Spinternship program, then we can place people from the Spinternship program into these programs that are looking for help teaching their color guard program. So there's a lot of different avenues. There's not like one good way. It's not like, oh, go to school and get a bachelor's degree in color guard performance, because that's, as far as I know, that's not a thing. I have heard of some schools that are trying to start it. I haven't heard of any success yet. It would be cool if it was a thing. So colleges, if you're watching this, make color guard instructing a academic major. It'd be cool. What is your process for coming up with your show, whether it be fall or winter? So I actually don't do a whole lot of coming up with the ideas for fall shows anymore. I used to help a lot with that whenever I was younger, but mostly I get hired by band programs who just need choreography or show design, and they'll have a concept, they'll have something, somebody else will be writing the drill. So when you're coming into a band program as the guard instructor, as the choreographer, that's kind of, you have to understand that's your spot. You're going to do the choreography, you're going to do the instructing. But as far as coming up with winter guard show ideas, there's a lot of different ways, and sometimes it will take a really long time. Right now, I've been talking to our show designer and some other members of our staff, and we've been collaborating and trying to decide what we want to do. We'll listen to lots of music. We have a Facebook group. We have group chats. We send each other ideas all the time, and we're scattered all over the country, so we kind of have to use that electronic communication to really get our ideas across. Bringing in other people to let them listen to your ideas is probably your best route to go. When I very first started Spintronics, I didn't. And you can tell, honestly, if you watch some of our old shows, like 2011, 2012, I just kind of was like, okay, this is what we're doing, and I decided, and then I'm going to throw it out there on the floor, and that's what we're going to do. And the shows, they look unfinished. I think they feel like they look unpolished, and it's because I just had my set of ideas from my set of experiences and perspective, and I put those on the floor. And as I got older as a guard instructor, I realized, oh, I should probably bring in these other people who know what they're doing, who've been doing this for a long time, or some of them who are the same age as me and have been doing it just as long as me, but just having other perspectives and bouncing those ideas. Even if you're a young instructor and you just have your friends around and you want to bounce your ideas off your friends, you know, that collaboration is what really makes a show just skyrocket. If you watch these shows, if you watch Onyx, if you watch Pride Cincinnati, if you watch these World Guards, Avon, Etude, all of these guys that were just shining this year at WGI World Championships, you're going to find that there's not just one person who's calling all the shots. Like, yeah, there's a director, there's a person who says, okay, this is the direction we're going, but it's really a collaboration of a whole team of staff members coming together that makes their show just amazing. My process is to talk to other people about it and talk to my staff. Sometimes I run ideas even by my kids, not necessarily like I want the kids' input on the design process or whatever, but just to see what their reaction is to some of the things that we've been talking about as a staff. And it's fun to have them involved because a lot of times they have a different perspective that we've never even thought of before. Okay, this is from one of our members. Why are you all so mean sometimes? Why are you like our parents? So we're like your parents because we love you, and we also have high expectations for you, and we want the best for you. So if your guard instructor is mean, there's a difference between being mean and really wanting the best for you. And I've had both in my career. I had a guard instructor who was, there's only one I can really think of, who was just mean just to be mean. And I was just like, lady, back off. Like, I haven't done anything to you. Don't be mean to me. A lot of times what will seem like guard instructors are being mean is that they're just pushing you to be your best. And they're pushing you because they can see what you could potentially be capable of. They see your potential and they really want to get you to reach your potential. And sometimes students don't listen if you're just nice to them. I mean, if someone comes up to you and says, hey, would you mind tossing that a little higher? You know, you might be like, okay, I'll try. But if they're like, no, you need to toss your flag higher right now, you're going to be like, oh, excuse me. Okay, sure, I'll toss my flag. So it's more to get that reaction and really push you to do your absolute best. So that is it for this week's episode of How to Be a Guard Instructor. If you have some questions for me, I actually have a really long list of questions, so it'll be a while before I get to them. But if you have more questions, go ahead and post them in the comment section, and maybe I'll be able to address them in a future video. And like I was saying, if you saw installment 1, you'll know that I've actually got I've got this sort of guide that's going to help you teaching your color guard classes. It's based on dance curriculum, and I'm posting just a little blog post. It's a little article. It's not like a huge textbook worth of reading. I'm posting a little article each week. It's on our Patreon account, so if you are interested in learning how to teach color guard better, go to our Patreon account, sign on as either an instructor or as a director level, and whenever you do that, you'll be receiving our weekly posts about how to teach your color guard better, some ways that you can test the students, some different perspectives on how to teach them, some different things that are important that you might not think about are necessarily connections that go with teaching a color guard class versus just doing an independent guard on the side. So all of those things are very helpful. I also hope that you will like this video, share it with your friends, share it with your students. Color guard is so much more fun when you have a whole team to work with.